All week I've had the poor electrons spinning in my head like a top on a kitchen table, and I've come up the hill before the birds to settle one thing and one thing only. How fast? You shut your door on me with 4 small words, the thing the electron spins, and I've done nothing since but watch it whirl behind my eyes and try to read the number off it. So no dawdling this morning. Set the top on the table and tell me its speed.
Sit closer to the grate first. Your hands have gone the colour of the frost you rode through. And before I answer a word of that, do me one kindness. Draw the top for me. The one that's been whirling behind your eyes all week. Give it a size, give it a skin, paint a little mark on its side so the two of us can watch the mark come round. Build me the picture you climbed the hill so sure of.
Easy enough. I've stared at it enough dark hours. A minute ball, a bead of a thing, turning on some pole of its own the way the earth turns on hers. There's your skin, a little curved rind on it. There's your mark, a speck of paint on the rind. And the speck sweeps round and round as it goes. Fast, I'd wager. Faster than anything I hold a picture for. But fast is still a number, and the number's what I came for.
Keep that painted speck bright in your eye then, because I mean to take it off you. And I'd sooner you watched me do it than felt it vanish behind your back. Answer me plainly first. That mark on the rind, how big across is the ball you've dabbed it on? Wide as a pinhead? Wide as a mote of dust hanging in the window light?
Smaller than that, surely. An electron's a wee thing. Wide as, I don't know, wide as whatever the least speck is that still counts as a ball at all. There has to be some skin to it, doesn't there? Or where's my paint to sit?
There's the splinter I have to draw before we take another step. Every measurement anyone has ever managed says the electron has no width. None. Not a small ball, no ball. Hunt for its edge, chase its surface down as fine as the finest instrument in the world can chase, and you never fetch up against one. As far as any soul can tell, it is a point, a place with no size at all.
No skin, then? No, hold on. If there's no skin, there's nowhere to lay the paint. And if there's nowhere to lay the paint…
Go on, say the rest of it out loud. You've already felt where it lands.
Then there's no speck to watch come round. And how fast does it whirl is a question with nobody home to answer it. You've handed me a top with no sides, a spinning thing with nothing to do the spinning. How fast does a point turn? It hasn't got a round to go round in. I've burned a whole week timing the whirl of a thing too small to have the decency of a surface. A point that's dizzy. And won't say why.
A point that's dizzy. Hold on to that. It's better physics than it has any right to be. Because here's the knot, and I'll not pretend it's a soft one. The whirl is a fiction. There is nothing going round, no rate to clock, no speck, no rind. And yet the electron carries the thing a whirl would give it, carries it to the last farthing, as though it truly were turning. It owns the twist, without ever doing the turning.
But humour me one moment with the ball I'm meant to bin. Say it were a little sphere, some size, and it stored this much stubbornness of turning honestly by actually spinning. How fast would its skin have to race round to hold that much? Give me the forbidden number at least so I can mourn it properly before I let it go.
Faster than light. Faster than anything in all creation is permitted to move. And then a good deal faster again than that. Take the smallest ball anyone ever dared draw for it, set it spinning hard enough to store this much twist, and its skin would have to outrun the one speed nothing is allowed to outrun. So the number you climbed the hill for isn't merely missing, it's flatly forbidden. Which is nature bellowing at you, as plain as she ever says anything. There is no ball.
Now you're talking riddles at a cold man. What twist, then, if there's no spinning to make one? If nothing's going round, what has it got that a going round would hand it? You can't pass me the smoke and swear there was never a fire under it.
Cast your mind back to the clockwork nights, the stubborn wheel, the one that fought your hand when you tried to tip its axis. A thing that's truly spinning carries a heft to its turning, a stubbornness, a store of go bound up in the going round that resists you and points and holds its aim against a shove.
The gyroscope. It near broke my wrist refusing to be tilted. The harder I shoved at it, the more stubbornly it swung off sideways and held its own aim, as though there were a will sat inside it. That store of go it kept clutched close, the thing that made it dig its heels in against me. You called it the spin of the wheel, the heft that lives in a thing's turning.
Now here is the turn of the knife. The electron owns a helping of exactly that stubbornness, the same stuff to the letter, only there is no wheel beneath it. The store, with nothing storing it. A heft of turning, sitting inside a thing that never turns. That is what spin truly names. Not a motion the electron performs, a quantity of turning it simply has.
And is this twist the same in every electron, the same helping of stubbornness in each of them, or does one electron carry a fatter store of it than the next, the way one top spins harder than another off the same string?
Identical. To the last grain, in every electron there has ever been or ever will be. They are all stamped from the one die. Not a whisker's difference in the twist from this electron to that one clear across the sky. It isn't a thing an electron owns more or less of, the way a top can spin fast or slow. Every electron carries the same built-in twist, and the one freedom left to it is which way that twist will answer when at last you put it the question.
That's a queer sort of accounting, the stubbornness of a spin, the heft of a turning, and no turning under it to make the heft. And I don't yet see where a point keeps a thing like that stowed.
Nowhere and everywhere. It keeps it the way it keeps its charge. You never once asked me where an electron stows its charge, in which pocket, on which patch of skin. It hasn't a skin, and still it pushes and pulls as surely as anything charged in the world. You'd never dream of asking an electron to hold still while you prized its charge off it to weigh on its own. The charge isn't a coat the creature wears, it's a piece of what the very word electron means. And so is this twist. As much the electron as its charge is, or its heft is. Not a thing it does, a thing it is.
So when you told me the thing the electron spins, you were, what, having me on? Built in like the charge then, with no spinning anywhere in it at all.
The name is a leftover, and an honest one. The two who first stumbled on the thing reached for the nearest word that fit, and spin was the word, because it behaves for all the world like a turning, even where there's nothing to turn. We're stuck with it now. Just don't let the word sell you the ball. Keep the behavior, bin the bead.
Right, and behavior I can at least see. A top wobbles, points, holds its ground. But what does this bin the bead twist actually do, out where a man could catch it in the act? Give me the thing I can watch.
Here's the doing of it, and it's the hinge of the morning. A thing with that built-in twist, if it also carries charge, and the electron does, behaves like a minute magnet. Now you'd expect a spinning charge to make a magnet. This one makes a magnet without any spinning at all. A bar magnet the size of nothing, a north end, a south end, a little compass needle built into the heart of the particle.
And how stout a magnet is it, this built-in one? If I fetched a single electron up to a compass, would the needle so much as twitch? Or is it far too faint a thing to feel?
On its own. One electron's pull is a whisper drowned in a gale. The needle wouldn't stir a hair for it. But there are unthinkably many of them in the least scrap of iron, and when a great mob of these little twists all swing to face the one way, their whispers add and add into a shout. The lodestone on your mantel, the one that hauls a compass round from clear across the room, is nothing but a crowd of these tiny electron magnets shoulder to shoulder, all aiming the one way at once. Let them jostle at random instead, and you've a plain, cold poker that won't lift a nail. The same little twists, lined up, or all at odds.
So the great magnet on the mantle is only a parliament of little ones, all voting the same way. That I can hold. And a magnet's a thing I know how to torment. We spent whole nights at it in the lines of force fire, shoving them about, watching them swing and snap round to face each other. So that's the road in. You don't catch the twist, you catch the magnet the twist makes, and read the twist back off it.
You cannot see the twist itself. There's nothing there to see, no wheel, no mark, no speck. But you can feel the magnet. So you lower it into a field and watch what the field does to it. And here you must pick the right field, for the two experimenters were cleverer at this than they ever get the credit for. Hang a compass needle in an even field, one that pulls the same everywhere, and it does only the one thing. It turns to line up, it aims itself, and then it just sits.
Just aims and sits? No travel in it at all?
None. The pull on its north end and the pull on its south end come out equal, and equal pulls in opposite directions cancel away to nothing. The needle ends up pointed and dead still. Useless to the two of us. I want the thing to move so I can see it move.
An even field's no use then. It only spins my needle to face away and leaves it standing there aimed. What do the two of them give it instead?
A lopsided one. A field that's stronger up the one way than the other, crowded thick on the one side, worn thin on the far side. Picture the lines of it bunched tight and fierce near the top of the gap, and spread loose and slack near the bottom, so a thing feels a heavier hand up high than it does down low. Now the two ends of the little magnet feel unequal pulls. The end that sits where the field is fierce gets tugged harder than the end sitting where it's faint. And the tugs no longer cancel.
There's a leftover pull then. A winner between the two ends.
And that leftover heaves the needle bodily, one way or the other, and which way and how hard hangs entirely on how the needle was tilted as it went in. The lopsided field turns the tilt into a shove.
So the tilt decides the heave. A needle stood one way gets thrown up, stood the other way, thrown down, leaning somewhere between, thrown somewhere between. That I can picture plain as glass. Now what do you send through it?
A fine beam of atoms, each one carrying a little magnet of this kind, streaming through the lopsided field and fetching up on a screen the far side, so you can see where every last one of them landed.
Why atoms, though, and not the bare electrons themselves, if it's the electron's twist you're truly after?
Because a bare electron loose in flight is a slippery thing to steer. It's charged, and a charged mite set free in a field goes skittering off on its own account and drowns the small answer you're hunting for. So you let the electron ride in, aboard an atom that carries its twist for it. The atom does the flying, the little magnet inside does the answering, the same twist, only handed to you on a steadier tray.
And the atoms come out of their oven tilted every which way, I'd think. No two agreeing, a fair mob of random slants, since nothing's trouble to line them up first.
The field heaves each one up or down by however its own magnet happened to be tilted as it flew in. So there's the machine, start to finish, laid out on the bench. Beam in, lopsided field, screen to catch the landings. Tell me, before I show you a thing, what do you expect to find painted on that screen?
Let me walk it slow. Every tilt in the beam and each tilt heaved its own distance. The ones tilted hard the one way get flung right to the top. The ones tilted hard the other way flung right to the bottom. And every middling tilt lands at its own middling height, all the way up and down between.
Keep going. Say what that adds up to on the screen.
It adds up to a smear, a solid band up the screen, top to bottom, filled in all the way through, brightest across the middle where the middling tilts crowd thickest, fading soft toward the top and the foot, one long smudge of a stripe. That's the only honest answer, surely.
Carve it in Newton's own stone before I let you look, because I want you to have sworn to it first. Random tilts in, a lopsided field that turns tilt into height, a screen to catch the landing. By every law you carry in your bones, that beam must arrive as one unbroken smear. Say you'd bet the farm on it.
The farm and the horse that pulls the cart to market. There is no other answer that keeps its feet. A magnet tilted at every angle, a field that turns angle into height. Of course the thing smears. Anything else would mean the tilts weren't free to be any angle at all, and they're atoms straight out of a hot oven. They're slanted every way there is, or I'll eat my hat here by the fire. It's a smear. Show me the smear.
It is not a smear. Here is what the screen actually shows. The morning the two of them first ran it. And it stopped the breath in the room. 2 spots. 2 and no more. One high, one low, tight and bright as a pair of nail heads driven into the screen, with a clean band of dark strung between them, right where the fat middle of your smear ought to have been.
2? Just 2? Where's the middle? Where are all the poor atoms tilted halfway, the ones bound for halfway up the screen?
There is no middle. There was never a middle to go missing. Every atom in that beam landed in one of the 2 spots, top or bottom, and not one, not a single stray, ever fetched up between them.
But I put the middle in. I fed it a whole fan of slants.
And it handed you back 2 landings and a void. Whatever tilt each little magnet flew in carrying, the field only ever heaved it fully up, or fully down. The dark band between is total. 2 answers, those 2 alone, and nothing whatever in the gap.
And the 2 spots, are they even? Does the beam share itself out fairly between the top and the bottom, or does one spot come up the crowded one, and the other a thin scatter?
Shared as even as you could ask. As many atoms fetch up in the top spot as in the bottom, near enough that you'd call it a square division of the crowd. The beam walks in every which way, and comes out cut in 2, this lot up and that lot down, the tally on each side matched, which only sharpens the knife of the thing. Every last one of them had to go the one way or the other, and which way was as good as the toss of a coin.
Did the 2 of them not think the machine was simply broken? Because I'd have thought it. I'd have torn the thing to its bolts looking for the fault before I ever believed that screen.
They thought precisely that, and they did just that. Ran it again and again, chased down every fault they could put a name to, scrubbed it, re-aimed it, hunted the leak in every joint. And the 2 spots would not go away, whatever they mended. In the end, the machine was honest. It was the world that was strange, and that is the far harder thing to fix. There's no wrench in any drawer for it.
But I asked it for every angle. I put a fanned-out mob of tilts into that field, all the way round the clock, every lean there is, and it gave me a coin. Heads or tails, up or down, and nothing at all in that wide middle. I asked nature for every angle under the sun, and she handed me back a coin with 2 faces.
A coin with 2 faces. You've caught it truer than the smear ever would have, because look hard at what it means. The little magnet cannot come out of that field pointing halfway. Measured along the up and down line, the field lays down, its twist is only ever fully with that line, or fully against it, up or down. And the in-between isn't merely rare or hard to strike.
You're about to tell me the in-between isn't even there.
Along that line, the in-between does not exist. Not we caught none of it. There is none to catch. The middle you swore you fed in gets flattened, every last slant of it, into one of exactly 2 landings.
But hold, the tilt of the atom coming out of the oven, that much was real, you granted it me. Every angle, no two the same. So something about the thing genuinely pointed every way. How can the pointing be real and the answer only ever two?
Because the two are not the same pointing. The atom as a whole can be slanted any way the oven cares to fling it. That much is a plain arrow you could draw with a ruler. But the twist buried inside it does not answer with that arrow. Ask the twist along your line, and however the atom was flung, it replies with one of two words and no third. The oven may slant the messenger any way it likes. The message still lands as one of just two.
So the honest in-between slants I know I fed in, where did they go? They were real. I didn't dream the fan I put in the front of the machine.
Hold that question warm. Hang on to it, for it pays out richly before this morning's done. For now, feel where you've arrived, because you have stood on this same ground before. Think back to the trapped wave, penned between its two walls, and the menu that nature handed it.
The rungs. A ladder of allowed energies and forbidden gaps between the lines of it. A menu, you called it, not a dial. I couldn't order an energy halfway up between two rungs. It simply wasn't on the card.
This is the same hand dealing. The twist along a line doesn't come on a dial you can set to any slant you fancy. It comes on a menu, and this menu has two things written on it. That and no more.
Planck's grain again, but grainier than ever I saw it wear. Back then the grain had got into the energy, this rung or that one, nothing between the two. Now you're telling me the grain's got into the pointing itself, into which way the little magnet's even allowed to aim. It's one thing for the world to ration out how much go a thing may hold. I'd half made my peace with that, cold nights ago. It's another thing entirely to hear it rations out the very directions a thing is permitted to face.
Into the pointing itself, yes, and that deserves the shiver you're giving it. Pick a direction, lay your lopsided field along it, ask the electron's twist which way it points down that line, and the only two answers on the card are fully along and fully against. Why two, mind, and not 3 or 1,000? That's a fire further up the hill for another night. The graininess that got into the energy has got into direction itself. Ask an electron which way it's aimed, and it can only answer up the line. Or down it. Never a lean, never a slant, never a hair off.
Now wait, the line you choose. You keep laying that phrase down, careful as a man crossing wet ice. I chose up and down gave me a coin. But up and down's a special line, surely, the one the atoms happen to favour coming out of the oven. Turn your whole apparatus over on its side, ask left and right instead, and I'll bet you the smear walks straight back in. That direction the slants are still free.
A fair bet. The only sane one to lay. And it is wrong, and I love that it's wrong, because the wrongness is the place the floor gives way beneath you. Turn the apparatus over on its side. Lay the lopsided field down flat so it heaves left or right instead of up or down. Fire the same beam through, and the screen gives you...
Don't you dare! Don't you tell me!
2 spots. One left, one right. Tight and bright, the same dead band of dark strung between them. Not one atom landing in the gap.
No, that breaks something.
Turn it to any slant you please. Corner to corner, on the diagonal, any line you can draw through the thing at all, and you get 2 spots along that line. Always 2, never a smear, never 3, never a lean in the middle. Whichever way you put the question, the electron answers with one of 2.
Then let me try the meanest little trick I've got left. Don't turn it right over on its side, just nudge it. A hair off the up and down, the smallest slant you can set the thing to. Surely then, near as it is to the line that gave me a clean coin, I catch some lean in the answer, a spot that's drifted a whisker off center.
Not a hair of a lean. 2 spots along the new hair's breadth line, as sharp and as far apart as ever. The same black dark between them. And here's the sting buried in it. The atoms that all went up on the old line do not all go up on the barely nudged one. Some come down. Nudge the question the merest whisker, and the answer you thought you'd nailed to the wall starts tossing its coin afresh. Exactly how it tips, whisker by whisker, is a promise for another night, not a puzzle for this one.
Then here's the thing turning my stomach. Has the electron no favorite direction of its very own? Not one line anywhere that it privately prefers, some way it leans when there's not a magnet within a mile of it.
Not one. The electron brings no compass of its own to the meeting. The only special direction anywhere in the business is the one your magnet picks out when you set it down on the bench. Point the field up and down is of a sudden the only line that means a thing. Turn it sideways, and sideways is. The electron owns no arrow. You bring the arrow, and whichever arrow you carry in, it answers you a plain yes or a plain no along it, and never once had a lean of its own to confess.
But how can it, though? If up and down gives me 2, I could just about swallow that up and down is special. But every line gives me 2? There's no direction anywhere I can aim this field, where the thing finally owns up to a middle. How is it fully up or fully down, and fully left or fully right, and fully every other way, all in the one breath? A compass needle can't point straight up and straight sideways at once.
And there's the crack in your picture. The same crack we've met on every night of this course. You're still gripping the electron as a needle, with one true aim it's keeping secret from you. A real tilt, sitting there in the dark, that each field merely reads off badly. Let that picture go.
Let it go how? It must be pointing some way while it sits there in the beam before ever it reaches your magnet. A thing has to be aimed somewhere.
It must not, and that's the whole of the strangeness. The electron does not carry a hidden aim waiting to be caught out. What it carries is an answer for every question you might put to it, and the answer only comes into being in the asking. Ask up or down, it becomes up or down. Ask left or right, it becomes left or right. You are never once reading a tilt that was already there. You are forcing one into being.
So there's no fact of which way it really points sitting underneath at all, and the field's not a bad ruler laid against a real length. The field is the question, and the 2 spots are the only 2 answers the question is allowed to have.
The field is the question. Say it back to yourself till it stops sounding like madness, because it's the truest thing on the table this morning.
Ask and the world picks one of 2. Don't ask and there's nothing there to pick. I keep meeting this same wall in a fresh coat every single week of my life up this hill.
And here is the thing to carry down the hill above all the rest. The marrow of the morning. For this one particle, the electron, no matter which line you lay your question along, the answer is one of 2. Not one of a great many that only happens to look like 2 from where you stand. 2. And there it stops. There is a least possible thing to know about which way, and it is not a slant on a dial. It is a single choice between a pair.
Every direction a man can dream up, and it answers with a plain yes or its plain opposite. There's something near dignified in that. You can badger the thing from any side there is and it will not be drawn into a middle. It knows 2 words and it'll say one of them, whatever tongue you ask it in.
Now step well back and see what you've truly found, because it is bigger than any trick of magnets. All this course we've chased this electron with 2 questions and only 2. Where is it? Its place. And how is it moving? Its go. Position and motion, dressed 100 different ways. All we ever thought there was to know about the thing.
And this morning there's a third.
Neither where it sits nor how it moves, and it was riding along inside the electron all that time, quiet in its pocket, and we simply never had cause to ask after it.
A brand new column in the ledger. Not the where, not the how fast. And it's not something the electron does, not a motion, you keep saying. So it's a thing the electron just is, like the charge. A fact it carries sewn in that comes in 2 flavors and no more.
Sit inside that a moment before we go turning any of it into machinery. When the world was first written down, nobody knew they would ever need this number. Where a thing is, how fast it goes, those we saw coming a mile off. But the electron would not be wholly spoken by them.
It needed one more thing said about it.
Or the accounts would never come out level, a thing with only 2 settings to its name. A new kind of number the world quietly needed, and had been keeping folded in its pocket all along, long before a single soul thought to ask it for one.
It puts me in mind of the wave itself, that first fortnight, how you showed me it had to dip below nothing, carry a height with a minus sign hung on it, or it could never have made the stripes on the fence. The world needed a number that ran below 0, and nobody had thought to hand the wave one.
The same shape of surprise, to the letter. Just as the wave could never be a wave without its below the line, the electron can never be an electron without its 2-faced twist. The world keeps turning up, quiet as you like, needing numbers nobody knew it wanted. A height that runs below nothing, a twist that comes in only 2. We don't dream them up to be clever, we're dragged to them, driven, because the thing in front of our nose will not be spoken without them.
And only the 2 settings to it, the thinnest number there could possibly be, a thing that can't even stretch itself to being 3.
And it fits the shape of everything you've learned this course. Ask a quantum thing a question, and it never hands you a smooth range. It hands you one out of a fixed set, and the asking settles which. For the trapped wave, the set was a ladder of rungs. For this, the set is as short as a set can be.
And I know that gleam of yours by now. 8 nights running you've worn it. You hand me some new small thing, and then you tell me it holds up half the sky. So out with it. This thinnest of all numbers, this 2-faced twist, what does a thing so small do? That's worth a cold man climbing a hill in the dark for.
I'll do the opposite of out with it, and it'll cost me, because I'm dying to spill it on the floor between us. This little 2-flavored thing is a fair part of why an atom has the shape it has, and why the floor holds you up instead of letting you sink down through it like cold porridge. The solidity of every solid thing you have ever leaned your weight against leans back, in some real part, on this.
The floor? This twist is a reason the floor's a floor?
In part. But that's a fire for further up the hill. 2 nights off, maybe 3. This morning I only get to show you the twist has 2 faces and no middle. What it builds, I'm promising you, not delivering. Leave it wrapped on the shelf a while yet.
Promised, not delivered. Your favourite cruelty, and I've near stopped fighting it. Fine, I'll not shove you up a hill you've told me is 2 nights gone. But you've that other look on you now, the one that says the strangeness this morning isn't half spent. There's more in the magnet than a coin, isn't there?
There's a good deal more, and it's the part that follows you home and stands at the foot of your bed all night. All morning we've measured the one electron the once. Let me measure the same one twice over now, and let me change the question between the 2 askings. That is where the ground properly opens under you.
Start me gentle then. I send an atom through your up and down field, and it lands, let's say up, the top spot. Now I've caught it. I know its twist, up. That's a fact I own about the thing now, yes? Solid, in my pocket?
Firm as anything in this trade ever gives you. Catch it in the top spot, and you may say, with a straight face, this electron's twist is up. And to prove to yourself you're not being fooled, do it again. Take that up electron, Only the up ones mind, pick them out and throw the down ones away, and send it back through a second up and down field, the twin of the first.
And it lands up again, I dearly hope, or my fact was never a fact to begin with. If I sort the ups from the downs, and then ask the ups, "Are you up?" they had blessed well better all say yes.
Every last one of them. Up, then up again, and again, as many up and down fields in a row as you care to line up along the bench. An up electron stays up, faithful as a hound at a gate. Ask a thing the same question twice, and it gives you back the same answer both times. So far, at least, the world is behaving like a world.
My up electron is reliably, provably, checkably up, then. Now, what do you do to the poor thing that I'm not going to like?
I ask it a different question. I take your good, certain, thrice checked up electron, up beyond all doubt, and I turn the field over on its side and put the sideways question to it instead. Left or right? And it answers, the way by now it must, with one of two.
I half saw that coming down the road. You drilled it into me not 10 minutes gone. Turn the field, and it answers that new line with a coin. So, say it lands left, fine. But wait, before I get greedy, is that left as solid as the up was? If I take my left electron and ask it sideways all over again, does it come up left a second time?
Left again and again, faithful as the up ones ever were. So long as you keep asking it the sideways question, and only that. Left, then left, then left, the morning through. So you've every right in the world to feel you've now caught yourself a second good fact, which is the thing that makes the next turn of it so cruel. The electron isn't slippery about answering. It answers the same question the same way every time. The trouble only wakes when you change the question.
Well, then I do feel rich, and you'll not talk me out of it yet. It was up. I checked it up 3 times over. Then I asked it sideways, and it said left, and it'll say left again all day. So it's up and left. 2 full columns of my ledger filled in on the single wee electron. What's cruel in that?
Then let's go spending your riches. Take that electron, the one you know is up, and now also know is left, and put the up and down question to it just one more time, only to read back the fact you already own and paid for, mind. It's up. You caught it up. You confirmed it up 3 times running. Send it through the up and down field again with all that certainty weighing down your pocket, and tell me, where does it land?
Up, of course. It was up. I only went and checked it sideways in between. I never once laid a finger on its up and down. So it's still up. It has to be. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because it isn't. Send that up then left electron back through the up and down field, and it has forgotten. It lands up as often as down now. A fresh coin, no memory whatsoever of ever having been up. The fact you owned and checked and pocketed, up beyond any doubt on earth, is simply gone. Asking it the sideways question wiped the up and down answer off it. Chalk rubbed off a slate.
It forgot? I asked it one innocent little sideways question, and it dropped a fact it had sworn to 3 separate times. I sorted those electrons. I checked them up and up and up again. And one glance sideways and the poor thing can't recall its own name. You've given it amnesia with a magnet. I turn the field on its side and the electron goes, up? Was I ever up? Couldn't rightly tell you, friend. You'll have to remind me from the start.
Amnesia with a magnet. And don't you let the joke soften it, because it's the deepest thing you'll carry down the hill this morning. Look hard at what the sideways field actually did. It did not simply read the electrons left or right and leave the rest of it be, the way an honest ruler measures your height without laying a finger on your weight.
It didn't just measure then. You're telling me it meddled.
Asking the sideways question. Reset the up and down. The measuring didn't peak at a fact that was already sitting there. It reached in and changed what it found there.
But could I not just ask it gently? Put the sideways question ever so softly, barely breathe it at the thing, so I learn the left or right without ever jostling the up loose.
There's no gentle way to ask it. None whatever. Any question sharp enough to draw a left or right answer out of the thing is sharp enough to wipe the up away entire. The two come welded together, and you cannot buy the one without paying full price for the other. You can't tiptoe up on it. To learn the sideways at all is to spend the up and down. The kindly measurement, the one that reads a thing without ever laying a hand on it. Down here, that just does not exist. Not for love, not for money, not for all the care in your two hands.
Changed it. Not read it, changed it. So the field's no window I'm looking through at a fact behind the glass. It's more a hand that reaches in and shifts the furniture about, and then tells me where a chair is now. A chair it only moved by the very reaching in after it. Every question I ask spoils the answer to the last one I asked.
And here's the question that ought to be biting you by now, so let me go and bite it for you. You had an up, then you had a left. Tell me straight, which of the two was the electron's true twist? Was it really up all along, and the left a lie the sideways magnet talked it into? Or really left, and the up the older lie?
I was building to exactly that, and I don't much like where it's leading me, because the honest answer is neither, isn't it? Neither was the true one hiding behind the other. Each was a straight answer to the question I happened to put, and no question I know how to ask ever gets round to the whole electron at once. There's no true twist sitting underneath the pair of them, waiting on me to be clever enough to catch it out.
Not every question does the wiping, mind. Ask the same one twice, and the answers agree. That much held up and up and up again. It's asking a different question that does it. And here's the thread back to everything you already own, though I'll only tug it this morning, not unravel the ball.
Tug it gently then. Why should a look sideways rub out the up?
When you forced it up, you settled its up and down, and left it sideways wide open. Undecided. Spread across left and right, both at once, the way a wave is spread across a room. Then you asked it sideways and forced that to settle, and forcing the sideways threw the up and down back open in its turn. Square the wave the sideways question leaves behind, run it through the rule, and the odds of up and down come out dead even. A fresh coin, as fair as the first one you ever tossed.
The rule, the squaring, Feynman's odds, wrung out of the wave's own height, so it can be sharp on the one question or sharp on the other, but never sharp on both at the one time. Pin the up and down, the sideways flies to fog. Pin the sideways, the up and down flies to fog.
That's the old Blur, walked in wearing the magnet's coat. Up and down and sideways are a pair that will not both be known, just as place and go were a pair that would not both be known. Sharpen the one, and you blunt the other. There's no field clever enough to catch both at once, and there never will be. And it isn't the magnet being clumsy about it.
It's that a twist with a settled up and down has no settled sideways to be hiding in the first place. Nothing there to read until I ask, and the asking makes it, and the making unmakes the last thing I made.
Just so. And you can chase the poor thing round the compass forever on those terms, and never once own the full of it.
Round and round I could go, and never hold all of it in the one fist. Nail the up-down, and sideways is a coin. Nail the sideways, and up-down's a coin. Go back to nail the up-down fresh, and I've unnailed the sideways I only just paid good money for. It's a blanket too small for the bed. Haul it up over the one corner, it peels straight off the other. Cover the foot, you bare the shoulders. Round and round you tug, and the whole bed's never warm at once.
Carry that one down whole. It'll keep through any winter. And now you're standing exactly where I meant to walk you. Cold and a touch dizzy, and finally ready. Because there's a word the two of us have been tossing back and forth all morning, as though it were the most innocent thing in all creation.
Go on then. Which word?
Measure. We measured the twist. We measured it sideways. But look what our measuring just went and did. It did not note a fact down quietly in a ledger. It walked in, rubbed one fact out, and chalked a fresh one up in its place.
We do keep saying it like it's nothing, don't we? Measure, as if it's a quiet man with a ruler and a notebook, changing not a hair of the thing he sets down. But this measuring is nothing of the sort. This one reaches in and moves what it measures. The look and the thing looked at aren't strangers here at all. The looking is a doing.
And folded up small inside those 4 words is a question that has kept far better minds than the two of ours awake their lives long. What is a measurement that it can do a thing like this? What truly happens in the instant the field asks and the electron answers? The instant the coin, still spinning mid-air and undecided, comes down heads and forgets it was ever spinning at all.
And that's the door, isn't it? I can hear it plain in your voice. You've cracked it a finger's width, and now you're about to swing it shut in my face till next week, same as every blessed week. The looking that changes the looked at, what a measurement even is.
Not one copper of it spent this morning. Leave it unturned on the doorstep, the way you've learned to leave the sweetest door for last. All course long we've watched the wave do its rippling and its reaching and its refusing to be pinned, and every strange thing came the moment we looked at it. Next time, we stop watching the wave and turn round to stare hard at the watching itself.
The act of looking, on its own, with nothing else in the frame.
The act of looking itself, what it is, and how a mere glance can wipe one fact clean off a thing and write another in its place. That is the fire I'm banking for next week.
Then before you shut the door on me, the honest accounting first. The one you always make me take, so I don't go strolling home down the hill, claiming the morning earned me a good deal more than it did. What did we not do? Where are the sheets left folded?
3 and no more. I never told you why the answer comes in 2 and not 3 or 10. There's a deeper reckoning that pins that number down, and it waits a night all of its own. I never worked the field's shove to a figure, how hard it heaves reckoned out to a hard sum. And I never built you the atom this twist helps to shape, nor showed you why it makes a floor push back against your boots. Those last are fires 2 and 3 nights further up the hill.
Folded sheets I can live with. You always cash them in the end, you old miser. But give me the one clean bone to gnaw on going down. The thing that's true this morning, and stays true when the winter's fairly on us, what do I own now that I didn't own when I rode up shivering in the frost?
This much, and it's no small thing to be handed. The electron carries a third thing, beyond where it is and how it moves, a built-in twist, no ball turning under it, that makes it a magnet the size of nothing. Ask that twist which way it points, along any line you please, and it answers with one of 2 and never a thing between. And asking it the one way wipes the answer you held the other way. That's the bone. Nothing about it gets unlearned come the cold, only deepened.
Richer later, wrong never. The deal you always cut me, and it's held 9 nights now. I came up this hill before the birds, clutching a little painted top and demanding its speed, and you took the top off me, skin and paint and whirl and all, and left me standing here holding a point that turns, without ever once turning.
And you're not sorry you made the climb.
Not for a single heartbeat, because look what's sitting in my hand instead of the number I came up for. A new kind of word, that the world had been carrying folded under its coat all the while, and I've only just this morning heard it spoken aloud. Not where, not how fast, a third thing the electron always had in its mouth. It comes in two flavours, and it will not be sweet-talked into a third, however prettily you ask. And that thin, stubborn, two-faced little thing, you tell me, is quietly holding up the shape of every atom in me, and the hardness of every floor I'll walk home across this morning. And you'll not let me learn how till you crack the next door open on me. So keep your amnesiac electron warm there by the fire. I'll be at yours before the birds again, to find out at long last what it truly means to look at a thing.